All right, LB. I was going to excoriate you, but it sounds like you've been having a tough time over there.
It's fine. That's what it
I'm
is.
not going to excoriate you.
Thank you.
I'm not going to excoriate you. I will say though that I'm taking revenge upon you tonight.
Why are you taking revenge upon me?
Because you made me miss trivia. The place is packed down there, and
Oh
I'm in
yeah,
the
I like the
hotel, and
trivia
then
there.
I know we
Will
almost
we be
won it,
there
but we
for
got
next
talking.
week?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we will be.
And are we going to
Um,
go see a Hartford Wolfpack game when we are there next week?
I think it looks like we probably will be doing that as well. Should be my first one in the club seats house. It's not just any normal
Oh
seat here.
wow.
This is large. Not everybody goes to see the Wolfen pack. Um, no, I'm getting reprisals because you made me miss trivia. So I'll be going across the street to the North House after the podcast out, and and um, in ordering an appetizer and having one drink and bringing and then that appetizer will probably be the calamari. Last time you and I had pork belly, or
We
steak
did?
tartare, probably steak tartare,
Last time you had
and
no, I had the ricotta there.
no, but we're not talking about what you had. I'm talking about what I had.
Oh,
I had the pork belly. I'm pretty sure,
okay.
um, and because you've put a total dent in
No, you
this
definitely
evening,
had the steak tartare. I remember that actually.
yeah, the little toast points. I'll also be hiring an escort to really get a super over the
Okay.
top revenge. Or do you
Okay.
think that's not proportional? I don't going to go the Israel Hamas stuff, but that's not proportional, right?
Because it took me longer to get home and get set up in the studio than you wanted me to.
Yeah. No. By the way, so I want two things. You guys to know two things on social media. One, Alice has been admiring the painting behind the picture behind me. It is a painting, and I don't. Can you see it now?
Yep.
Can you see it now? I'm not. I'm seeing the
I'm sorry,
software.
buddy.
So, but that picture, if you want to see it closer, that picture has been, it's now an NFT that has been tweeted. I added it to my last tweet. So you can go and check out that picture if you'd like to. It's a
Nice.
railroad bridge in Simsbury.
Wow.
Now, another thing.
Mm-hmm.
What was in, okay. I
I don't
went
know.
through steak tartare. Oh, no, yes. On, on, Instagram, I put a picture of the menu of where I'm going to be going to get my apps. I will not actually, and you can, you can comment on that. I've had one commenter say that they would go for the garlic and chicken wings. So here's my thing: if I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to be there sitting next to an escort, I'm not going to have garlic wings all over my hands. You,
I mean, isn't
you,
that what you pay them for? Is to put up with your garlic wing hands?
I would never let them see the real me. I don't
An
care
escort?
because what? Yeah. Oh my goodness.
But you're
I never
paying
signed so
them.
many
They didn't want them. They
confidential.
don't want to be with you anyway.
I would have. Wait, hold on now.
That's why you pay
Imagine all the
them.
confidentiality agreements I would have her sign about one, my performance, two, what I look like shirtless, three, other things that can be measured. I mean, I would have a stack of things to sign if I ever got an escort. I would non-disclosures. I'd have to build in hush money to the initial purchase. This would not be a good situation. Not be a good situation. I, in fact, am not going to get an escort. I'm going to cancel that. Give me a second, okay?
Okay.
Canceling escort. Ignore that. Ignore that in uh, the the bank statement. It would be it wouldn't be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I've never gotten an escort or a prostitute.
Good.
Yeah, well, I guess there you go. There you go, Alex. You can just tell people that at my funeral, well, at least he wasn't a pedophile and was not a hooker guy. Um,
He wasn't
but
addicted to gambling.
correct, and I'm not a drug addict.
So
Everything else
there
pretty
you
much
go.
in play. Um, but I can't. And probably some of you guys listening now probably do use these services to have women come over. I just can't imagine the transactional small talk. I can't imagine. It,
Well, don't you
like,
think like every guy thinks that they're gonna like actually be the cool guy that is friends with the
Changes
hooker.
her.
Yeah.
As younger man, yeah, I think every guy has drunkenly been on the street trying to tell prostitutes that they don't need to be doing this, including me when I was in my teenage years, and everybody else knew. But the one when I was 16 and she was in Montreal, she actually didn't need to be doing that. She was really beautiful. But she didn't want to hear the speech. Um, but yeah, no, I don't know like what you'd say because what if like
I
you
mean,
talk,
even just
she
now,
comes
like
in, she's
with your garlic wings, you're worried about her seeing you eating garlic wings.
yeah.
Like you're not gonna
Well,
impress
yeah, and that's
her.
just because it doesn't. Well, no, I wouldn't try to impress her. It's just a matter of just human decency. Something she's going to see enough that's horrific that she's going to have to, spend hours at a therapist, and saying I don't know, like that that thing was technically a human form, but I just, maybe I should have stopped this business one day before the guy in room 631 called. But with the garlic wings. Um, but like, what if she comes in and like she's just like really sweet and nice and working through school and is like really decent. You're like, wait a second, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna like be here like just using you, and it's not something that she would want to be do. Like the if if it should be totally humanized. I don't know. I haven't done this. I have talked to guys who have
Yeah.
done this, and they say like that some of these ladies, especially like in these good sites, are like really nice.
Hmm.
So like, that would be. Did I
There
tell you?
was an Orthodox saint that would hire prostitutes just and then like not just let them have the night, like pay them for the night and then
Santa Claus.
not him, but another one.
Yeah, interesting circles.
I mean, it was a really big thing that women had to do that then, so anything that people could do to save them from that was obviously a huge act of charity.
Did I tell you about the time? At the Herald, I had this string of for Boston Herald Radio. I had this string of like fun things. I wanted to get the newsroom excited, and I wanted to pop younger for the paper. So like we had all different like Patriots cheerleaders, that kind of thing, and we had like young like we had George Foreman's son come in and like we are doing young and kind of edgy stuff. And I found this is something I've done, right? I found a lingerie company and I said, hey, can you do a segment on lingerie and bring in a lingerie model? Because I thought this is great. We'll have photogs here.
Cut it out. Stop that. I
This is
mean
after
it.
this is after we had a woman who a woman yeah we got somebody who dress was a who did Comic Cons in Boston and all over the country, and she I forgot who she was, but she was all sorts of characters, and she um she came in and she wanted. Oh yeah, we took a bunch of pictures of her, and she was like really like we interviewed her on the air, and she was like really into like sexual talk and this and that, and it was like way advanced for me and Joe Battenfeld, as a matter of fact, who were interviewing. We were like, we we hit. She was just very like it was pushing it, but then she would like walk through with her like Supergirl outfit through the newsroom, which was
Mhm.
very funny, and we took pictures and the Protog took pictures, etc. And at one point, we got to the conference room, and I forgot exactly what we were doing, but she asked if I wanted to take nudes, topless pictures of her. And I said, no, no, thank you, no, thank you. It's the kind of thing that as a young guy, you're like, someday, wouldn't it be great? But like in person, there was nothing like organically, like okay, this was supposed to be harmless, fun, booth baby kind of stuff that just kind of like wow, they're doing that on Herald Radio kind of thing, but but it was like that's not good. There was another time. This is my judgment is poor sometimes. We had yeah, like I said, we invited the lady to come in for we invited the lingerie people to show off their new whatever line of stuff. Something was happening, something whatever. We said, "Come on in." And do you have a lingerie model that who can come in? I did more than this at the Herald, by the way. This is just kind of the because we're talking about this in women, etc. So they bring in the lingerie model. The lingerie model is a woman who's lovely and very educated and sweet and has a daughter in daycare or something. And I'm like, this is not what we were. No, no, no. We were looking for the Hawaiian Tropic bus. You know, we didn't. We're looking. We're not looking for a person with a lot of substance. We're looking for a person who gets paid generally to be walking around in lingerie, not your friend next door who needs the money. It's like, oh, anyway, that's so yeah. So anyway, I'm out of. Before I ever had a chance to get into the escort business, I'm already out. But I will be into the probably the steak tartare business. Speaking of Wolfpack, Alice, do you have? I'm not looking at your face, so I don't know if I saw a look of concern. I would be okay. What do you look like?
Why aren't you
So
looking at my
okay, so I'm not
face?
in trouble. That's not an I'm in trouble.
What?
I've been looking at the sounds, the cuts I have,
Oh,
etc.
okay.
So that's not an I'm in trouble look. I'm not in trouble,
No, you're not in
right?
trouble. No.
That's amazing. You know,
Do you
there have
feel
been
like you should
relationships in
be
my
in
life
trouble?
where those people who listened last night in your absence will understand. I feel that's okay. Speaking of Wolfpack, this is
Uh-huh.
going to be the first time, Alice, right after escorts, we're moving right to wolves because this is exactly what we talk about when we talk about good intentions and their impacts.
Hmm.
Embattled wolves gain a new frontier in democratic Colorado. The move is stoking political tensions.
Yes.
Oh, hold on, it
The move on
froze
the
there.
walls is stoking political tensions in Democratic Colorado.
Yeah,
Is everything okay over there? Are you
yeah. I'm
placing an
sorry.
order for steak tartare?
No, it's just the news story. The AP app is kind of a mess. Um, so there is even a lawsuit. Gray wolves, subject of new recovery plan, Endangered Species Act. These wolves, in essentially everybody, these are in the cities. Come on, AP, work with me here. Okay, here we go.
Hmm.
So this is great. Wildlife officials plan to release gray wolves in Colorado in coming weeks, at the behest
At the behest.
um, in the coming weeks at the behest of. Listen to this, Alice. Sorry,
Okay.
I didn't get out of frame. Oh, right there in the middle.
I was trying to move you back while you were
Oh,
doing that.
okay. I'm leaning here, so you
Where
can
do
do
you
this.
where do you would you
I'm right here. This is
comfortably
where I
like
want to
to
lean.
be? Okay.
The great wildlife officials plan to release gray wolves into in Colorado in the coming weeks at the behest of. Listen to this: urban voters, and to the dismay of rural residents who don't want the predators but have waning influence in the Democratic-led state. It talks about the wolf reintroduction. The reintroduction starting with the release of up to 10 wolves emerged as a political wedge issue when GOP dominated Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana refused to share their wolves for the effort. Colorado officials ultimately turned to another Democratic state, Oregon, to secure the wolves. As anticipation grows among wildlife advocates who have already started a wolf naming contest,
Mm.
ranchers in the Rocky Mountains, where the releases will occur, are anxious. They've already seen glimpses. Fucking EP. God, you suck. They've already seen glimpses of what the future could hold as a handful of wolves that wandered down from Wyoming over the past 2 years killed livestock. The fear is such attacks will worsen, adding to a spate of perceived assaults on Western Colorado's rural communities as the state's liberal leaders embrace clean energy and tourism, eclipsing economic mainstays such as fossil fuel extraction and agriculture. in especially grating for for rancher Don Gittleson is that his fellow Colorado residents invited the reintroduction through their narrow approval of a 2020 ballot measure. Suburbs and cities along Colorado's Front Range, which includes Denver, carried the vote despite strong opposition from less densely populated counties where the wolves will be released.
So
It
the
was the cities
people
that voted for it. Most of them can't tell the difference between a wolf or a coyote or a dog, said Gittleson, who lost at least 6 cows and calves to wolves from his Sherman Creek ranch. So, yes, these animals, since they've been reintroduced, and this was a big thing in the 90s, have been eating the hell out of livestock, Clydesdale horses, goats, pig, everything they can get. These wolves are monsters. But the people in the urban centers, in the
mhm,
leafy suburbs,
think it's nice to have
want them
wolves.
there because they're cute piece of their back. The wolves are back. But the wolves live with the farmers, and the farmers are being. But of course, they don't. These people, they don't care. Those are MAGA people who don't want the wolves there.
Right. The
You
people that have to
suck it
live
up.
with the wolves are over there, and the people that want the wolves to be in the
Yes,
county with the farmers are.
we want the wolves, but we want the wolves with you.
I know. We want you
And
to have to deal with wolves.
yes, and it reminds me a lot of we talked about like the way the busing was rolled out. People in Lexington and Winchester wanted to make sure that we were desegregating immediately.
But only in
That means
Boston.
that means you, Boston, right? We're not going to have any problem in Lexington. It's like this whole wanton destruction of
Well, and in
you know.
Boston, it's particularly crazy because there are some really wealthy communities like right around Boston. So, for example, where you used to live in Boston, where I met you in Brighton, you can go down the street and be in Brookline, which has fantastic schools. And, if you live on the wrong side of that line, your kid is getting sent across town to who knows where in Boston to some terrible school with metal detectors.
Yeah, it's just amazing. But just the idea that good progressives, it makes me feel good.
It makes me
In
feel good to inconvenience you. What's the big
Yes, in
deal?
my suburb with all my lawn signs, it makes me feel good that those wolves are allowed to play in our state. See, right? In like, what is your problem with them? What is your problem with the wolves? It's
Just
so
wear the
typical.
mask. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, that's right.
Like always.
The same people who want to make sure, like, even though there's like not a bike within 10 counties, we need bike lanes. We need to bump out the curbs. We need to change everything to make them pedestrians. It's like leave people the f alone. It's so you are between the student loans and wolves and all this stuff. You are really you are really inciting. The left is really inciting people.
Well, yeah, and the economy too is the the left's attitude about the economy is getting really old. There's been this thing going around on Twitter where people have been complaining about inflation and people on the left are making fun of them for like buying too expensive food. People are saying like, "Oh, I bought a steak, I bought this, I bought that." Somebody said they bought like the big container of deli meat at Wegmans and it was $16 and somebody's like, "Oh, well, shopping at Wegmans, you don't need to shop at Wegmans." Like they're doing something wrong. But it
People
didn't
are
used to
terrible.
be $16. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if the left's approach to the economic problems is to say it's not happening and you should be just learning to live within your means anyway and, just be poorer and be okay with it, that will not be a winning message in 2024 if that's their approach to the economic messages. And they unfortunately this is not done, and I'm really concerned actually about the economy because they've kept hyping how like they've done a soft landing and they've reduced inflation without causing a recession. I think they shouldn't celebrate too soon because the recession could still come. Just around us, for example, in Rhode Island, Hasbro's laid off 1,100 people. In Boston, the State Street Corp has laid off 1,500 people. Ernst and
Amazing.
Young laid off 10% of their partners. There's really there are really a lot of job loss is happening right now in a way that I don't know that it's getting talked about enough. We've talked to a bunch of people in IT. I mean, we have family and friends who are in IT who are watching colleagues or themselves be laid off, and the list goes on and on. I do not think that the economic pain is over, much as I would like that to not be true, because personally I would like the economic pain to be over. But what's wrong, honey? I don't want to hear a long story. Is it something I can do something about right this second? I don't. Okay, I'll be right down, and we're almost done. But I think that, if this is going to be the left's approach here, is it's really not that bad, and the inflation has gone down and real wages are up. And, I've even seen some people lecturing people who complain about inflation on the left, like left-wing people who are like, there really is a lot of inflation. They'll say stuff like, well, the left has been advocating for higher wages for working people, and this is what happens when the working people have higher wages. I thought you were against income inequality, but it turns out you're just a petty bourgeoisie that, you think that your consumer upper middle class needs are more important than what the McDonald's workers make. But welcome. This is the income equality. This is the income equality they were talking about, right? This is what you get is your DoorDash costs $150. That's where we are.
Well, is this why like people are posting like in jest? Oh, I'm having the lobster confit with this, that, and better than this.
Yeah. It's making fun of somebody who posted that they ordered DoorDash for their family from Outback Steakhouse, and they got 2 bloomin' onions, some lobster tails, a steak, and a salad, and it was like $150. So,
so the point is, okay, that's you. That's not really bad. It's the way you're ordering.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Yeah. The point is, like, ha ha, sorry you can't get lobster tails anymore, sucks to be you. But, people's expectations are that their quality of life is not going to go down if the economy is good, right?
Right. Yes, it's not that we're actually financially hurting. It's that I'm too stupid to realize that my escorts and steak tartare are costly.
Right.
Alice, you were having a good-looking day.
Really? Thank you.
Have you seen the most amazing thing, the thing that put me in a much better mood today after I missed trivia? That put me in a much better mood.
Oh, sorry, I didn't have the mic on, Cyril. Would you like to tell us something?
Oh.
Cyril would like to weigh in. The mic's on now.
Go right ahead, Cyril. Does he have headphones on?
He's putting them on. Go ahead. Tell us what you need
Go right
to
ahead,
tell us.
Cyril.
I'm such a bad time.
Why are you having a bad time?
Everybody's being mean.
Well, Santa's going to remember that they're being mean. Also,
By being mean, he means things like when he asked for a cup of milk, Sally asked if he could get the cup while she got the milk.
I don't think he'd be that petty. But, Cyril, I've already giped 2 cookies. I giped some of those little candies we had the other day, and I've giped 2 chocolates. And if those other kids want any of that, they better be nice to you. How's that sound? Good?
Okay.
So, thank you, Cyril. The best thing is, the no whites allowed party that happened last night at the Parkman House, Alice?
Mm-hmm.
Where I've been, by the way. I was invited by my friend Jacqueline Cashman. We went on a date there, Alice.
I seen that on Twitter. Very nice.
Yeah.
You were fatter then.
Yeah. Imagine that being possible. That's right. So yeah, and so that's when me and Jacqueline went to the Beacon Hill pub for a drink before we went there, and she ordered a glass of wine from the Beacon Hill pub, which is just amazing disconnect.
They didn't know where to find the bottle of wine. Somebody ordered the wine, guys.
I know. What do you think of this? It's Buckingham Palace. But the most amazing thing is the pictures of the Parkman House last night. A bunch of the party goers, Alice, put their hoods on or covered their faces as they went in.
You guys are just racist. Own it. Put your face out there.
How fantastic is that? How low do you have to be? The Daily Mail or Channel 7, I think, caught up to Wu. I'm going to try to play this if it's her. See if we can get it. Hopefully this is not a pre-roll ad. This is in the Daily Mail UK.
I do.
Oh,
What's
it's
that?
pre-roll.
Oh,
Okay. Wait till this thing is over. But can you imagine, like, how exactly low must you be? Must you be to be hiding your face from a party you're going to go to? You want to so go to it that you're hiding. So fantastic.
Well,
So
yeah,
fantastic.
and it's so incredible. Like, how hard would it be to just invite?
Hold on.
Years here in Boston and Massachusetts. Think of. I am honored to be a part of this group. It is a long-standing community group that
Honored to be part of it.
has grown in recent years here in Boston and Massachusetts. Think of the Congressional Black Caucus or the Black and Latino elected officials at legislative caucus at the State House. This is one that spans all levels of government.
No, this is a party.
It's a space for
Space
people to build coalitions and
coalitions.
represent communities.
Well, aren't coalitions diverse? Aren't communities diverse?
Well, when they
This is
say
a really
diverse,
cool-
they mean something different than what you say when you mean that. Some people think diverse means there's like lots of different types of people with lots of different types of opinions.
Oh,
But to the left, diverse actually just means there's black and brown people there.
I see.
Coalitions that exist, and each one should have their own space to connect and build and do that work. And holiday season's a great time to get together.
Each one should have their own space to do that work. Are they in that building doing that work, or are they getting plastered right now?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's very
doing
easy.
that work, their own space.
You know,
it's so
obviously,
fantastic.
and somebody else said this, Ricardo Arroyo was saying, oh, well, you know, there's the Congressional Black Caucus and there's the Congressional whatever caucus, and that's okay. Well, yeah, it's okay for the Congressional Black Caucus to exist, even though, I mean, it's way old news and right-wing people have been saying forever there's no, like, Congressional White Caucus, but whatever. I mean, like, just starting from there, okay, fine. You're allowed, nobody's stopping you from having the Congressional Black Caucus. But if you're throwing a party, and particularly if you accidentally send out the invite to everyone, the thing to do is to just open the party to everyone. Like you said, they're not doing the legislative work there. The electeds of color can have their holiday party and invite white people to it. You know what I mean?
Well, or Michelle Wu can also use a function house, which the Park House is, that is owned by the city of Boston. She could also never do this, never have a segregated event in city property, or she could have it at her house.
Well, right. I mean,
get back to her.
Enjoy each other's company as well. I'm proud to host many of these across all different types of coalitions. So,
wow,
the
the tyranny comes with a smile. And it comes with an, I'm proud of doing this in a gentle voice. It's her, it's Justin Elicker, it's Jacob Fry, it's Justin Trudeau. They're all the same people.
Really isn't. It was one of those emails that we've all sent at one point or another.
Oh, have we? I haven't.
Really.
Have you, Alice? Have you sent an email?
No, I've never sent an invitation to a racially segregated party by accident.
Really, if anything, in a real world, she would be resigning.
Generated much back and forth because there are many other events that everyone has been invited to in all different forms and groups.
Michelle was asked to host.
It's one of the city councilors.
Like her term. It's kind of how we saw it. We've been doing this for 10 to 12 years.
It's going to be a royal, maybe.
We're proud to have now an Asian as the mayor of
the fact
city of
that
Boston.
that a black city councilor had to step up and stand next to her and say, "Yeah, I sanction this
Think
thing."
about when
Shows
you
you it
say,
ain't great.
I don't know.
See if it's all him.
This has been something that obviously was built up. The fact that we've had hundreds of years of
He's saying for hundreds of years, these groups haven't had the same opportunities in this country. So, because of something happened hundreds of years ago now, which we've learned was immoral, the segregation and the subjugating and the exclusion, we're going to be segregating and excluding.
Yes.
But the people who did it back then, when, by the way, it was commonplace.
Michelle O'Connor Wu is going to stand in the door of the holiday party and make sure that whites can't enter.
Yes. Amazing. By
the way, her husband is white. Was she allowed to bring him to the holiday party?
I can't. I don't want to just by glance. I don't want to confirm or I don't want to assume his pronouns, Alice.
Okay.
So who knows? Who knows? By the way, Michelle Wu is somebody who went to Harvard herself. Her parents were engineers. She is a person of privilege.
Do you think
She
she
is a
stands with
person
Claudine
who had
Gay?
all the right.
Do you
Huh?
think she stands with Claudine Gay?
Oh, you're. I can't hear you.
Do you think she stands with Claudine Gay?
I would think she stands with Claudine Gay.
Who, by the way,
Yes, I would
is
think so.
continuing to inspire tweets from like black intellectuals like Mark Laymontel is tweeting out stuff like watching a bunch of mediocre white men dismiss the intellectual abilities and professional competence of an extraordinarily successful and gifted black woman is nothing short of stunning and profoundly American. Karen Ataya, that Washington Post editor woman, wrote, I hope black women in public facing positions are taking extra care with their safety and security right now. But really, if Claudine Gay is an example of the best black women have to offer, then that's actually not a good reflection on black women. I tend to not think that that's true. I think there are much better black women out there.
Well, it's the same thing for um like the View, like just for women in general. It's like is this a sample of you
Mm-hmm.
of your gender? This is where you guys are now.
Right.
Oof. Yeah, Claudine Gay is a midwit, and Michelle Wu is a dastardly, tyrannical, racist bigot. But people need to realize that these are the packages they come in now.
Right.
They come in these packages. Michelle Wu is very pretty and eloquent and gentle, and seemingly a family person and this and that. But they're monsters. These people, and that's what she's doing is just
Mm-hmm.
like you said, Bull Connor. It's the same thing. It's just dressed up differently. He also thought he was right.
Of course.
He also thought he was doing
Of
something
course.
that
Everyone
would
thinks they're
unite.
right or they wouldn't be doing what they're doing.
Coalitions. It's remarkable. What else you got, Albie? You got anything, or should we head to the Chelsea Fire Wicked hot chat?
Let's really quickly play Kamala if we can too. Did you
Okay.
see that cut of her?
Oh, Albie really going after
Just
black women in this one.
just because she's gonna be our next president, probably.
Okay, is this one I sent or you sent?
I sent it, I think.
Okay, here we go.
We all watched the television coverage of just yesterday. That's on top of everything else that we know and don't know yet, based on what we've just been able to see. And because we've seen it or not, doesn't mean it hasn't happened. But just limited to what we have seen.
She's got a little bit of Andrew Augustus in her.
I know. She's definitely, I mean, the way that she talks is so stream of consciousness. Like she's either some kind of guru who's giving us existential truths or she's insane. It's one of the two. But we've seen what we've seen, but we haven't seen. And like, what?
I also think this is a character that she has not developed. Kind of like my Trump, where it's still under construction.
Her Kamala is not fully developed yet.
Her, when she looks down at Blasey Ford and says, I see you, I hear you, you're seen, I'm centering you. And when she does like the Yes, Slay Queen stuff when she was a senator, when she would yell at witnesses.
Or that little girl was me.
Yep, exactly. That she has done. This person, the person who can just string together this thought, this stream of consciousness stuff, this is not good. I don't know who's telling her to do this. Does she not have a teleprompter? Maybe she can't read.
Maybe not. I don't know. But she's an embarrassment, and because she's a black woman, the Democratic Party can't really walk away from her. So it will be interesting to see what happens as we get into the next year or so of election season.
Oh, I almost got in a car accident today. Cell phone went flying. I was
oh my gosh.
Somebody left lane 495 south. We're all going pretty fast. Somebody about 7 cars ahead just hits the brakes.
Oh.
people in front of me hit the brakes. I hit the brakes and managed to. Thank goodness I was looking. I mean, I hit the brakes and
Thank
managed
goodness
to.
we replaced those tires.
Yeah, I was managing to straddle the breakdown lane and the grass next to it. Thankfully, I didn't have a guardrail there. I had grass, so I was ready to bolt essentially drive into the woods. The guy behind me hit the brakes, went into the grass, and his car spun around.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
chaos. It was the closest thing to like a real like
Pile
T
up.
Dog meets Jaws of Life accident. But I'm safe. Don't worry about it.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Trish says she would rather have Gus as the next president.
I would too, actually. I would too. That would be fantastic. Fantastic. Do you think like Iran would mess with us? Like nobody can get a read on this person. Nobody knows what's happening here. Okay. Are you ready, Alice?
I'm ready.
You ready for what?
For the Chelsea Fire Wicked Hotline chat brought to us by Chelsea Fire Wicked Hot Sauce.
Okay.
Last thing, okay?
Ready?
Ready.
Here we go. Dun, dun, dun.
By the way, how about Jill Biden?
Oh, let me get this.
Sorry?
Oh, because you were singing the Nutcracker. I was saying.
Oh,
how
my
about
goodness.
Jill Biden's White House.
The weird Cirque du Soleil acid trip freaking White House video where they like managed to flamethrow the Nutcracker. Oh, weird thing that was. These people, everything they do is brutalist and ugly. It's just true.
So let me get this straight. Mayor Wu was having a Klan meeting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I took from that.
Yeah, she had one last night.
Did she have like a sign that said "No whites allowed"?
Yes.
You know.
Yeah, she meets with lots of coalitions, and they do this all the time. She's happy. We've all sent emails like that for Klan meetings. That's what she told me.
And and then like once like a white person tries to cover the door, she's like, "Get your white ass out of here!
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Go get." Oh God, backwards. Everything's backwards.
Correct.
Ass backwards. Oh, and then you got Hunter playing the victim. They showed naked photos of me at this meeting. Oh my God.
Yep.
Are you hard to get me with the pipe?
Alice, I have a question for you.
Oh my God.
Actually, Alice, you know what?
What?
You know what, Alice?
What?
I could reorder my escort and just watch some of his videos and what the etiquette is.
Oh, yeah. It's like the Hunter Biden laptop is like a hiring an escort training manual.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic.
Thank goodness. What a public service he's provided.
You know what? Where do you think I could go get crack right now? I'm in.
I don't think I think everybody would assume you're a cop.
That's no good. That's no good. If you're in the area near Farmington, Connecticut, let me know if you're holding crack currently. Because I'm doing the full Hunter.
I'm like the only person in America who got through, well, at least who got through high school without anybody ever offering me drugs ever.
Yeah.
Because they assumed I would like tell on them or something.
But you would.
Probably. But nothing.
BBP?
Not weed, not anybody's parents' Percocets, nothing. Nobody ever offered me a drug all through high school.
I know that.
Hold on, Tim. BBP, explain yourself. 1148.
I know that I heard correctly. Tom mentioned on the All You Can Eat pod does bleed over to this, and he has never been to a Five Guys. This is a man
I have not.
who has walked 7 miles in the snow in a hurricane to get expired tripe from the discount section of a supremely discount supermarket chain. They've never been to Five Guys. Explain yourself.
I have not.
Actually, speaking of the rotten section, by the way, you once again posted your Instagram post about the rotten section onto my Facebook page by accident. So now people think I'm buying expired pate.
Oh, sorry about that. That was delicious. I whacked that out last night.
Oh,
That was
disgusting.
delicious.
Disgusting.
Oh, it's so good. I feel so bad for you, Alice. Yeah, so Tim, I have never done the real designer hamburger thing, and there's a big hamburger place near us too. I respect a good hamburger. I have been to Shake Shack when I worked at the Herald, and I did find that pretty damn delicious, I gotta say. But I have respect for hamburgers. I respect burgers that are like exotic with all sorts of stuff on them. My son usually orders a crazy like breakfast burger that's got everything on it. But I haven't been to Five Guys. Five Guys. I've seen them before, and I've been in one with Alice. I just haven't. And there have been times like
I've had
even
Five
when
Guys. I feel like you're not going to be that impressed. I feel like you're going to be like, "What's the big deal?" Because that's how you
Well,
are.
maybe. I mean, but there are some. They have some had some burgers that are just fantastic, including a great Kobe burger or Kobe burgers that I had years ago. And I respect burgers. I have been depending on my level of fatness. Usually, when I'm just like normal, gaining a few pounds every month, Tom fat. Usually, I'm still like trying to stay away from buns. I tell myself that I'm on some kind of lower carb diet, and then I whack out pasta later on in the night. But I have not done my due diligence in the burger thing. I also don't want any more addictions because if it's a freaking awesome, then I don't want to have it in my mind and need to be at Five Guys every day because I will do that every day. And I did that. Me and my brother. Well, I'll say me. I had an addiction to bibimbap in like 1998. It's this Korean dish in a stone pot, and the first time I had it, I was like, "This is weird." And then I had it again with my brother a few days late after that, and I was like, "I am addicted to this and need this always." So yeah, no, and I say addictions as if like it's a clinical thing. I don't even know if it's a clinical thing. I'm just a weak-willed, wretched person. Is what I'm really saying.
But fortunately, you get sick of things quickly. So you'll have an addiction for a while, and you'll want to eat like 3 of it every day, and then you quit it, and you never want to eat it again.
Exactly. That's what because I have everything, all of it now, and then I'm done with it. I think this is going to be. I think we've got 2 more Tim from Cantons, which is great. I miss you, Tim. BBP TFA 554. By the way, Tim, where would you suggest? What's the best burger place? I would like to know. Maybe it's Five Guys. My friend John Sapichetti says Five Napkins. That's really a place near Berkeley School of Music in Boston, I guess.
I actually support the new Trans Fat Airlines accommodation for our plus size friends because, for one, I'm not a big, large person, but I'm always accosted by the freaking manatees that sit next to me and literally have their blubber sitting on my leg, my arm, just taking up all my space because they can't fit in their tiny little seat, which I do agree is way too small for the average person. But my only request is, in the name of equity, now that we have that buffer seat between us, can I get a discount on my seat because I don't take up as much space? Oh, and I would also like to get a discount for not breathing as much oxygen. Again, name of the game is equity, diversity, equality.
He makes a point. He should be centered. We should hear him and we should see him. If he's not taking up that space, I think about that last year. Remember when I went to California and I ran on JetBlue and they were mad at me and they sat me in general population. And I complained about being fat. I get the feeling that was more about the people next to me than it was being nice about me when they let me have my row again after they yelled at me. Although maybe that was fat folk. Maybe they were afraid that this guy looks litigious, like the kind of fat guy who's setting us up to take a big hit.
Mom, you're just telling.
Oh, by the way, Tim and Canton's naming convention is back. It's wonderful. BBP
What?
Confused Lemur 556.
Telling me stuff. Not even.
Are you listening, Alice? I can't see you.
Okay,
You
I'm
listen?
listening. I'm talking to Cyril.
Okay, let us know when you're
sound
done.
is messed up again.
Ready
Okay,
to
go
rejoin
ahead.
the show.
I'm here.
Okay, here we go.
Wow, after hearing the Burn Barrel pod from last night or the night before, I've just realized Tom is the age of a Gen Xer,
Yes.
has the body makeup of a boomer,
Mhm.
Yes.
thinks like a Gen Zer, and actually talks like a freaking millennial.
What?
We were lemur before lemur was a thing.
Oh.
When was lemur ever a fucking thing?
Oh.
Lemur. I want to hear the tapes, by the way. It's actually not a bad name.
Do you have which computer needs to be fixed to play Lemur? Isn't
I think it's the
all-
one in the closet where you are. Yeah, no, we have. That was going to be the original music for the show was music from Lemur, And right before I started this podcast, it got one of my kids spilled OJ on it or something, and so it was ruined. So when I say before lemur was a thing, it does sound dickish now that I hear it. It's not what I meant. What I meant was like when I discovered lemurs in 1990 or 91, just watching like some GBH thing, is
Okay.
that nobody knew anything about them. Nobody knew the word lemurs unless you were like into odd primates from Madagascar. So it was not a thing. So I was like, wow, this animal is incredible. And I was watching documentaries and I read a bunch about them and the way they behave, etc. And they're really fantastic, weird animals. And it was not a widely known animal. Nobody knew about it. That's why I mean I was learning about them from Winchester, Massachusetts. We had a zoo next to us in Stoneham. There were certainly no lemurs there. There were no lemurs anywhere I'd seen. And it was the ring-tailed lemur, obviously, that got me. And I would in high school, I would joke with a friend about it, and I thought that's just a great animal with a cool name. But then, like lemurs became known. I forgot how it happened in the '90s through the late '90s. They became known. Maybe the movie Madagascar is after that, I guess. So maybe not. But it definitely became nobody. As a matter of fact, the name was so rare that when they used to promote us on WFNX. It might have been BCN. I was into who's playing at what club. They would say, and at 7:15 opening is Lemur. And I thought, that sucks. They have us being a French band named Lemur because
That
nobody,
you're the wall, but in French.
right. We were the wall. Yeah. Lemur. Nobody knew the word lemur. So that is what that's from. I am not a millennial, although before it was a thing, does sound dickish, Tim. I'm not
You were the
proud.
first person to know about lemurs, honey. Good job.
In which Tom Shattuck, yeah.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody. If you are in Connecticut, obviously Tom is there tomorrow at the Holiday Store. Are you in Avon tomorrow, or are you in
No,
Hartford?
we're on Pratt Street in Hartford, Connecticut. Come
Wow.
and see us. George Capalbo will be here.
Nice. With George Capalbo, that's great. Next week in Connecticut will be all the Shaddocks. So look out. We'll see you there.
C'est la vie.